Good morning, Taconic, and welcome to the first episode of the Thunder Report in 2025.
We have an amazing show coming up, so let's get right into it. Today is Friday, January 10th. We have many great things to show you today.
First, we have this week's top news.
Then we'll have Max with this week's headlines from the Berkshire Eagle.
Next, we have an interview from Forward to the Past featuring Miss Willis.
After that, we have a new episode of Shop Talk with Metal Fabrication.
Next up, we have a new segment with a 2024 Media Roundup.
Then we'll have another edition of the weather with Avery.
Lastly, we'll have Word of the Day. But first, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For our top headlines today, the Portrait of a Graduate Student Voice Summit that was previously canceled has been given a new date. It will now be on Friday, February 7th. The summit will now be for the whole school and an opportunity for you to share your voice to enact real change here at Taconic High School.
On Friday, January 17th, Quarter 2 grades are closing. Make sure to keep up with your assignments and also check in with your teachers to make sure you finish the quarter off strong.
As a reminder, this year's open house here at Taconic is coming up soon. If you would like to attend, it will be on Thursday, February 6th from 6 to 8 p.m.
Now, let's go to Mr. Keller with an important message about a new PBIS on-time booster here at Taconic.
Hello, Taconic. It's Mr. Keller. Quick message from the PBIS team. We are starting an on-time booster January 13th, so that would be Monday, all the way up to the next Thursday, January 23rd. Now, this booster is about being on time, right? Getting the class on time. So we're going to check Panorama, we're going to check Power School. If you go all those days without a tardy, we are going to grab 10 names from that list who are going to get tickets to the game for PHS and Taconic basketball. Go Taconic. That's going to be on the evening of the 24th. So again, we're going to pick 10 winners to get tickets to the Taconic basketball game where we're going to kick butt, and also sponsored by Dunkin' Donuts. We will have Dunkin' Donut cards as well to give out to those students. So again, be on time, be a responsible person, and let's kick some butt with Taconic versus PHS. Thank you for taking the time. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks for that important message.
In partnership with the Berkshire Eagle, I had the chance to cover some of the big headlines from the past week. Let's check it out. Hello everyone, my name is Max and welcome to Headlines with the Berkshire Eagle. Let's check out some of the big stories in the news this week. After the death of former President Jimmy Carter at the age of 100, Kit and Evan Dobell from Pittsfield recall his temperament and time in office. From 1977 to 1979, Evan and Kit Dobell served successively as Chief of Protocol for the Carter administration. Evan Dobell was impressed with what Jimmy Carter was able to accomplish with his time in office, saying, quote, "He did things effortlessly," close quote. Besides politics, Jimmy Carter was known for having close relationships with many musicians, and Kit Dobell recalls Carter playing classical music in his private workspace every day. A sale to the Gordon brothers that will lead to the acquisition of 200 to 400 Big Lots locations and up to 2 distribution centers to Variety Wholesalers, Inc. has now closed. Judge J. Kate Stickles approved the sale. Stickles' decisions ensures that Big Lots will survive as a brand at least to some capacity for the near future. When asked by the Berkshire Eagle, a manager for the chain's Pittsfield location was unable to confirm or deny if the store was still closing or not. And then they directed the Berkshire Eagle to the company's public relations team, which did not respond to an inquiry about the status of the store. Now to a story that was similar to the mountain biking story that was featured in the last episode of this segment. The Ashu-Wiltacook Rail Trail has been extended half a mile into Pittsfield, making the trail a total of 14 plus miles long, and also adding a new parking lot on Merrill Road. This is part of a much larger plan for 25 miles of bike and multi-use paths. The total cost of the rail trail extension was $2.3 million. Well, that is all I have for you. For more on these and other local stories, check out theberkshireeagle.com. Now, back to the studio.
Thanks, Max. That was really good.
Thank you. It means a lot. In other news, Pittsfield High School is organizing a trip to Iceland in the spring of 2026 with World Strides. The invitations have been extended to Taconic families. Scan the QR code on screen now for the link to the website. Please email Kelly Ziemba at kziemba@pittsfield.net or Allison Evans at aevans@pittsfield.net if you have any questions.
Movember Club will be holding meetings every week on Wednesday and Friday mornings at 7 a.m. in Coach Capeless's classroom, A125. See Coach Capeless for more information.
Next up, we have another episode of Forward to the Past featuring an interview with Miss Willis.
Hi, I'm Ms. Willis. I'm the reading specialist at Taconic High School, but before I was a reading specialist,
Miss Willis was a journalist in New York for the New York Times and a daily reporter for the Berkshire Eagle.
and I wrote for the New York Times, and I wrote for Rolling Stone magazine, and I wrote for a magazine called the New York Press. And I was a daily reporter for the Berkshire Eagle when I moved here in 2006.
They also started to write music criticism when they were young.
I've always loved to write, even when I was really, really little, so I thought I'd combine the two, and I started writing music criticism when I was pretty young.
In 2016, she started to be an educator.
And I became a teacher because I started covering a lot of education stories when I worked at the Berkshire Eagle. And once I started talking to kids and talking to families, I realized that I wanted to be part of the education community.
But now, Miss Willis has a new passion at hand.
And when I first started, and to this day, I still bring journalism into the activities that I do with my students. And in the importance of pressure, I think that working under pressure is a great skill to have.
Now, she gives feedback to us students about her passion.
If I were ever a magazine or newspaper editor, what would I do to encourage people? I would encourage people by telling them to get into the field, to have them practice writing precise, incisive, exciting articles with just seconds to spare.
Thanks for that segment.
In addition to that, the Forward to the Past segment now has a sign-up sheet that you can fill out by scanning this QR code on screen now to be selected for an interview. Next, we have another edition of Shop Talk with Metal Fabrication.
Introducing Metal Fabrication, the Taconic High School shop. Metal fabrication is the process of creating structures or products by cutting, bending, and assembling metal materials, often involving techniques like welding, machining, and stamping. What are your names?
I'm Hayden Strassel.
I'm Kyle Leahy. I'm Nick.
I'm Madeline.
Students are inspired to take this shop and would like to say some words.
It was the best shop for me, I think. It had the best opportunity, definitely when you're going into a field.
Mainly the teachers. It's just a great environment, and it's like a little small family. Everybody knows everybody. You can help somebody out whenever you need. It was the shop for me.
I want to be a fabricator and welder.
I just felt like everything went smoothly when I went through the shop, and I got along with Mr. Booth a lot, so he's mainly the reason I joined.
They were offered a $1 million grant between them and horticulture, and Aaron Booth said, "We have a lot of older equipment in here that doesn't meet the industry standards, and we also have some equipment in here that's not the safest equipment for the students to be using. So this is going to be beneficial for our program and our school in general." What was your favorite project so far?
Well, I built a Captain America shield out of bulletproof steel, and I painted it with my own spray paint, and it came out really good.
I helped him with that.
I made a little flower.
Additionally, an adult program was created in order to teach them about welding and metal fabrication as well. Thank you, Metal Fabrication.
Back to the studio.
Thanks, Kyra. That was a great interview.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Now we have a new segment with a 2024 Media Roundup.
Good morning, Taconic, and happy 2025. First, we're covering the biggest musical releases of 2024. Chromacopia, Tyler the Creator's 8th studio album, came out on October 28th at 6 a.m. He released it at this time because he wanted people to listen to it when they first woke up. GNX, Kendrick Lamar's 6th studio album, released on November 22nd. We Don't Trust You, Future's 8th studio album, and the first of 2 collaborations between Future and American producer Metro Boomin, released on March 22nd. Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish, released on May 17th. Epic the Musical's Ithaca Saga by Jorge Rivera Eras, released on December 25th. With this, the Epic the Musical concept albums are finished. Now to Avery with games from last year.
First up, we have the Game of the Year winner, Astrobot. Astrobot is a very fun PlayStation platformer that celebrates the entire history of PlayStation. Next up, the Indie Game of the Year winner, Balatro, is a very fun poker-based roguelike. Now, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree also released this year, which is a huge DLC expansion for Elden Ring, previous Game of the Year winner. Now, the next game that we have are the fighting games, which are been very good this year. Tekken 8, the last of the big 3 to release a new game, as well as Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which is a really fun Dragon Ball game, great for fans of the show and manga. Now, on to my personal favorite game of the year, Shadow Generations. Very fun platformer, really bringing back to the adventure era of Sonic, as well as to promote the Sonic 3 movie, which I saw was great. Now, talking general movies, on to Aiden.
Moving on to the movies of 2024, Avery mentioned one of the highest rated, or rather the highest rated video game movie of all time, Sonic 3. Well, we also have the lowest rated video game movie of all time in the Borderlands movie. After that, we got Deadpool and Wolverine. Honestly, an amazing movie. Great send-off to the Fox series. Great jokes. I think all around a wonderful movie. Then we got Venom: The Last Dance. I think, maybe unpopular opinion, but I really like this movie. I think it was a great send-off to the Venom trilogy. I think the story was a nice turning point. Then we got Transformers 1, the first theatrically released animated Transformers movie since the 1986 original. And those are the movies of 2024.
Now back to the studio.
Thanks for that segment, everyone.
Next, we have another edition of The Weather with Avery.
Good morning, Taconic. I hope you're all in a good start to the new year. Now, first up for the weather, we have the 7-day forecast. Now, today, it's looking like a nice 30 degrees, very chilly, quite cloudy as well. And the weather starts to sort of fluctuate, chance of rain on Saturday, but it sort of ends at a 32 for the weekend on Sunday. Now, for the sneak peek at next weather, it stays a 32 into Monday and sort of starts to just keep climbing down, ending with a 26 on Wednesday. Now, for the moon phases, tonight we have a waxing gibbous. Remember, waxing means going to a full moon. Waning means coming from a full moon. Then we do have the full moon on the 13th. Then we have a waning gibbous, which is on the 17th. Now, the most important announcement I'd like to make for weather is the wildfires that are currently going on in California. Now, the wildfires are currently happening in California because they have a very dry climate, as well as they have very high wind speeds, which means that a lot of fire embers are going to plants and vegetation that are very dry, and they can catch on fire very easily. And it's, to be frank, very scary. Now, I do hope that everyone there is safe and is well. And that is all the weather I have for you. And I hope, as well as people in California, as well as people here, are both safe and doing well. Now, back to the studio.
Thanks, Avery, for the weather this week.
Lastly, the Miss Willis word of the day today is utensil. Utensil is an implement, container, or other article, especially for household use. Get noticed using this word in class or in the halls, and you'll get a green ticket and be entered in a drawing for a prize from Word of the Day.
Well, that is all we have for you today. As always, if you have any news you'd like us to report, please email us at taconictv@pittsfield.net.
For more from us here at Taconic TV, check out our weekly radio show, Up on Taconic, which airs every Monday at 6 p.m. on WTBR 89.7 FM, as well as podcasting sites like Spotify and CastBox.
As always, make sure to take responsibility, have respect, and strive for excellence.
Have a great day, Taconic!